Part 2. Yeah, as I was saying, I would stand there quietly, just film it, so that way people can pay attention to what's going on the screen. I would try to film more than 30 seconds. I would try to film as much of it as you could, and film the after the fact stuff, because you might actually pick up officers talking about what happened. So that would also help your case. But yeah, that's just my advice. To help you look more credible and help people take your video a lot more seriously. Trisha Green filmed the police brutality beating of the already unconscious Melvin Jones. Yeah, that one was handled poorly. I can't remember what Melvin did, but he made the officer mad. That officer was actually charged. The cops involved with that were reprimanded. The aggressing officers were charged. So that matter was rectified to the extent of the law. Anyway, I believe the family was still going for civil suits, which is understandable. I don't remember the circumstances as to why he was stopped or arrested, but I do know the arrest was excessive, and the department actually fired the officers who were charged. The officers who were charged were also convicted. So now Trisha Green, went above and beyond what you are supposed to do. Like, she stalked these guys, constantly harassed them, was like showing up at their houses, and was actually caught trying to tap their phones. Like, she legit was trying to do that. So yeah, and she was actually convicted of that, if I'm not mistaken. In 1 year in the U.S., one of 266 officers is accused of a violent crime. Out of the 900,000 officers in this country, I would say that's a low statistic. That statistic is correct. However, there's a word there that everyone needs to look at. See that word right there? Accused of a violent crime. I can sit here and say, you're a giant green lizard man. I just accused you of being a lizard man. Doesn't mean it's true, man. Just because you're accused of something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's wrong. If it's a lie either, but it doesn't mean it's true. A lot of cops are accused of stuff that they didn't do because people are just mad that they got arrested. Or it's that they don't know enough about how police stuff works, so they report it, and it ends up that it didn't actually violate any departmental policies or any criminal laws. So yeah, you are going to be accused a lot as a cop, and any of you are thinking of getting in law enforcement or just starting out, you're going to be accused a lot. A lot of people are going to report stuff on you. And I mean a lot. You're going to have them. They're going to accuse you of all this stuff. Very few are actually going to fill out the report. Like the last I talked to a sergeant, I'm like, all right, I can make a report on these guys. Not many of them are actually going to do that. But you will have the ones who will. And it's going to happen. And there's going to be investigations. That is why it's imperative, when you write your reports, detail everything. Do not leave anything out. Make sure your report is as detailed as you possibly can get. Describe every single thing, exactly how it happened, exactly when it happened, and just give as much detail as you can. It'll cover your ass if someone reports you for something, because they can look at your report, and nowadays you're going to be wearing a body cam, so they can check your body cam footage too to see if anything happened. So, and for those of you who are getting in, just prepare yourself for when you get in to be falsely reported, because it's going to happen. Obviously, there are officers who are accused of stuff who actually did it, and if they actually did that, then I wholeheartedly support them being punished under the full extent of the law. I believe they should be fired. If the crime or incident was severe enough, they should be fired. And if they broke the law, they should absolutely be arrested and put in jail and given a very harsh sentence. I'm 100% for firing and criminally charging bad cops. I can't stand them. I hate bad cops. And I wholeheartedly admit there are definitely some guys on the job who should not be on the job. However, there are far more good ones than there are bad ones. All right, moving on. 1 out of 947 is accused of sexual assault. Again, that's a pretty low statistic, but it's also correct. Again, the word here is accused. People are crazy. Y'all remember that story of the lady who was drowning and the lifeguard saved her and gave her CPR, and she tried to get him charged with rape because she didn't consent to him touching her? Kind of the same thing. People are going to accuse you of sexual assault to get out of anything. A lot of females do this. Especially drug addicts. They're going to be like, he touched me. And that is why I'm glad they have body cams, because it has saved the asses of so many officers. A lot of people are going to lie about that. Now, the ones who didn't, again, they need to be charged criminally and they need to rot in a jail cell. I'm all for that. 1 of 1,875 is charged with homicide. It's actually 1 out of every 2,500. So this one's close. It's a little off. But that's still a pretty big majority who don't do it. And just because you're charged with something does not mean you're guilty of it. Charged just means you're being accused of something. And you can accuse someone of anything. Convicted means you were guilty of it. It means you were found guilty by a judge or a jury. There are officers who go 30 years, their whole career, without ever having to shoot someone. You, as a cop, might go a couple months, a couple years without ever having to fire your weapon. 9 times out of 10, when a cop pulls their gun, they don't even have to shoot. Because most sane people will see, oh, he's got a gun. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. So, if police stop you and question you, if you're not being arrested, it is your right to calmly walk away. No, that is not true. There is this little word called detained. Now, there's a difference between being detained and being arrested. Arrested means you're being accused of a crime. Detained means you are being investigated. It means you are not free to leave. The officer is conducting an investigation. You've been pulled away from the general public and are being investigated. When you are pulled over, you are detained. Automatic. If a cop pulls you over, let's say you're driving on the road and a traffic stop is initiated, that traffic stop means you are detained. You are not free to drive away, not until the officer is done with their investigation. If you're stopped on the street and the officer pulls you to the side and starts talking to you, you are detained. You are not free to go, not until the officer tells you to. You know, if you ask the officer, are you being detained? Am I being detained? And the officer says no, then you would ask, am I free to leave? The officer might say yes, the officer might say no. If they say no, assume you're being detained, you do not leave. Jesse Kersey, I heard of this one. This one definitely could have been handled better. The officers involved did receive punishment through the department. They weren't criminally charged, but they were fired. Definitely could have been handled better. Actually, it was kind of sad what happened, but like I said, we have hindsight, so. 4,012 officers charged with a violent crime, 103 were convicted. Yeah, because charged doesn't mean you were guilty of it. So, just because you got charged with something doesn't mean you did it. Innocent until proven guilty. Right, that's all for now, guys. I hope you guys are having an awesome weekend. I hope you all are staying safe out there. And I hope y'all enjoyed these videos. Have a great one, guys. Lethal out.